Hi everyone, I'm Victor. I'm from Sense of Space, and so today I'll be talking like more on what we do at the company. So Sense of Space is a startup that I co-founded, and I'm the CEO. But many things that we do there, it came from my research back in the days in Aalto University and also in Tallinn University and the Baltic Film School. So everything's connected to the research work we do there, but I will be mostly focused on what we do on the startup because it's what I'm doing right now. So you can pass the slide. Can I do that actually? No.
Sorry, yeah, we had to do it.
Yeah,
Mario
no
is
worries.
controlling the slides.
So yeah, as I said, I am Victor Pardinho. I'm originally from Brazil, and I have been working with VR and AR for quite a long time. And I moved to Finland in 2015 to do a master at Aalto University, and then working in VR and AR and also in research. A lot of research projects and research groups, both in Aalto and then my Pia Tika, which is now at Tallinn University, she moved to Tallinn University, so a lot of the research also moved there. So yeah, it's kind of like a mixture of Aalto University with Tallinn University and also the MEDIT, the Center of Excellence in Media Innovation, also there in Tallinn. And my focus is pretty much on volumetric video and photogrammetry, so like 3D scanning and putting people in VR, in digital worlds, in the way that they really are. So not like we are here now as avatars or cartoon versions of ourselves, but the real person. So capturing them, in the case of volumetric video, capturing so fast that is frame by frame. So it's not just the static object, but it's also moving. I'll be talking about that a lot. And yeah, so that's pretty much an introduction of myself. You can pass this slide, please. And then Sense of Space is a startup that I co-founded after my research was kind of done, or I graduated on my master's. So my research funds were over. So then I decided to fund a startup and bring the work we were doing on the research to the business world and try it out and see how it works and what can we do to power creators on a more commercial and independent way, a bit out of the research, only the research world. And this is the team we have at the moment. So 6 people are working, and those guys there, Nordic XR, Icebreaker, and Business Finland, are the ones helping us with funding and yeah, like so we can do what we do. So you can pass. So volumetric video is capturing a person or like a human performance in 3D. So instead of using just one camera, one angle, we use several cameras around the person and using the several angles of the RGB data, but also the 3D data. So there's an infrared sensor together with the RGB camera. We can get also the 3D point in space. So that means that we have, well, the RGB data for the colors, for the textures, and then the 3D point in space coming from the infrared to get the 3D calculation of the pixel. So then you tell the computer to reconstruct, and we can get a 3D model that looks like super realistic and moves like realistically also. You can pass again. So for example, there's the guy, and you can see the cameras over there on the corners. So then it creates a point cloud from the various angles that we capture. From the point cloud, we can generate a mesh. And then we can get the textures, of course, out of the RGB data. We compress and decimate, and that can be used in AR, VR, web, any kind of 3D platform. Oops. No, me go back to my place. So that's basically what volumetric video means. But like it sounds simple, but it's extremely complex because we are dealing with a gigantic 3D data. Like imagine that it's not like motion capture where you have the bones that you rig the character and the 3D model is actually just one 3D model. It doesn't matter how long is your animation. In the case of volumetric video, is a sequence of 3D models. So every frame is a completely different 3D model. So you can imagine that a 10-second sequence of volumetric video without decimation or anything can get to easily to more than 5 gigabytes. So because it's like one 3D model every frame, one texture every frame. So it's kind of gigantic. So there's a lot of new challenges for computer graphics, for us to solve there and make that data more usable and easy to use. So that's what we are doing pretty much on the company and in the research group also. Can you pass this slide? And then use cases. Why will we use that? So there's quite a bunch of use cases right now, to be honest. I will never say this to investors, but I can say to you guys that it's hard to know. Nobody found the actual need yet. If you tell me, like, why do I need volumetric video instead of avatar? Now we are in the point of exploration. So one of the big use cases is kind of like that, like a VR experience where you want to represent the person on the way that they really are. So you really don't want to use avatar. In the case of a performer, like the girl, or like clothes, it's a really good technology for clothing, for costumes, because the physics of the clothes and the wrinkles, it all comes on the 3D data. So you will never get those wrinkles and that like super fluent physics movements. Of course, you can get from 3D made up clothing and physics, but we all know it's extremely difficult and expensive. And also, for example, sports, like that you want to get the athlete, the way they are with the movements that they really do. So for like analytics of the body, it's something that is really powerful because, again, it's not a made up by computer avatar. It's the actual person with the real movement captured from reality. Then on the commercial side, there's a lot of things happening on the e-commerce. So again, because of the clothing, so showing clothes using volumetric video is much nicer than a 3D model made up by hand because it's the actual real clothes. And so Nike has been doing quite a lot of work on volumetric video to show like sneakers and clothing on the e-commerce store. Then we have training on the healthcare. There's a big trend now of using volumetric video to show how to put the gear, how to like, for example, there's a lot of things going on training medical doctors on dealing with people, because when you see a volumetric capture person, it's a real person and it's not an avatar. So you really get the connection, that we have with real persons, which is really valuable for a medical doctor or when they are training in VR or AR, to really see a person that is a real person that was captured and not a 3D avatar. So those are the use cases we see quite a lot lately. Again, as I said, like there's no like particular use case that is, generating hundreds of thousands of revenue, but it's more like right now we are on the points that we are exploring. And every week we get people calling us with the most crazy use cases and thinking that, okay, this will be interesting. And of course, we want to do all the use cases and see what makes sense, what doesn't really make sense to use this kind of technology. And it's also an expensive technology right now, so it needs to be like useful. Can you pass this slide? I can see the time. Okay. So what we are doing in Sense of Space is the main product we have is SenseXR Studio, which is basically a content creation tool to use with volumetric video. So the big challenge right now on volumetric video is how to use the holograms. You can obviously throw the holograms in Unity or Unreal or like the game engines but they don't really understand the data. So it's really painful to even edit, to even like cut the data, you know, that you capture, or put the holograms together. Also audio, like for example, if you use Unity, you need to press play and watch the whole experience. You don't have a fluent way of editing, just like we are used to do with 2D video editors. So on our software, the idea is to basically be a video editor for volumetric video. And then we also have interactions little tool there that you can branch your sequences, and then you can publish to WebAR or to VR or also to Unity and Unreal. You can pass to the next slide. This is a video of the tool. So as I said, let's see. So you can import any volumetric video from any studio that you capture. So you don't need plugins. We work with the capture studios to avoid the need to installing plugins all the time. You can edit just like editing a 2D video. So cutting the scenes, you know, you don't need to be a developer. And also we work with a visual scripting to get interactions going on. So again, we don't want to make a tool that only developers can use, that only people that knows how to code can use. For that, you can use Unity. But we want to do something that anyone can use, researchers, artists, video editors, designers. They can just go there and you know, put blocks together, tell via the blocks like what should happen when the user tap the device screen, when the user comes closer to the hologram. It branches to different sequences. So we are trying to do something that anybody can use, that doesn't need coding knowledge. The code happens behind the curtains and things like that. So you can pass this slide. So, and then of course, the idea is to make things faster and easier. So it should be like just as easy as today editing a 2D video is, like super fast, and you can just load and start doing it, because we believe that that's the only way we can get creative with the data and find new ways of using this. So we like to put ourselves into these 3 steps, like that is easy to edit the data. You don't need plugins or external tools. You don't need to go to Maya or Blender. You should be able to edit right away there. Coding free. So we want to do this interactions editor for volumetric video, where you can make user engagement without having to write too much code. And also publishing, also really easy. So you don't need, like, for example, AR. You don't need A12, which is the AR platform that is extremely expensive. So we want to do a much more accessible and cheaper to publish on the web or in AR or VR. You can pass this slide. Gonna go a bit faster here. So supported formats, we support, if you use Kinect-based sensors or even the iPhone LiDAR, you can do a volumetric video nowadays. You can export to an OBJ sequence or an Alembic file and load inside our tool. If you do have budget to capture a high-end volumetric video using ThetaV, 4D views, Microsoft Stage, there are a bunch of these high-end volumetric video capture solutions around the world. And in Finland is going to open this year a high-end volumetric studio in Tampere, in the research group there. So that will be cool. It will be the first volumetric studio opening around the region. And that we work with all those companies, so you can get the hologram data that comes from them and load on our software without using any plugins. If you use the game engines, you need to deal with plugins, and they are always outdated, and they are always giving you all kinds of errors. So that's why we decided to, let's talk with them, and we implement straight pure C++, very low level, so you don't need to deal with plugins and hope that things works. You can pass to the next slide. So again, the idea is to be hassle-free, so you can edit things literally like editing a 2D video, cutting the 3D data around. Of course, we don't have, it doesn't mean that you can change the mesh. If you want to get that deep, then you have to use Maya or something. But you can capture stuff put them together in the software and start cutting things and putting holograms together. We also have audio support, so you can load the audio and edit things at the same time, and also do some basic 3D transformations there. You can pass. And then we also have the interactions part. So the idea is to make this visual scripting data flow kind of interactions, very much close to blueprints on Unreal, but way more basic, where you can say that, you can capture different sequences, and then you can do like a choose your own adventure system where the hologram tells you something. And then if you come closer to the hologram, you can branch to a sequence B that he will tell you something else. Or if you don't come closer to him, but you go far away, then he goes to a sequence C, and then he plays another sequence. So this is branchable storytelling, which is quite basic, but super actually powerful to do using volumetric video. And we want to do that without having to code at all. So just by building blocks and connecting them together and doing that in a visual way. We are not there yet. So the editing part is already released, and the interactions part we are developing. You can pass? And then when you are ready, you can share. So what we use is we use a lot of web and web AR and web VR. There's a lot of people that come to us asking for that. So we do believe is kind of like the future. So you don't need to download anything. You don't need to download an app. You don't need to download a software. You can just literally visit a web link on your cell phone, and you can get the hologram running on your living room and interacting with it. Or if you're doing VR, you can also go to the web link and experiencing web VR. So we do like a lot the WebGL, WebXR developments going on, and it's really impressive. But we also know that a lot of people, like to use Unity, Unreal. So we have a bunch of integrations. We integrate with Unity, Unreal, Play Canvas, which is amazing. If you guys never use Play Canvas for developing XR experiences, it's awesome. I totally, just go check it out. And also 3JS WebGL on the web part. And then for those that want to do commercial work, we also integrate with 8wall, which is a AR platform for more like commercial side of things. And we also have, as I say, our own web and web AR for commercial projects. You can pass. So how to start using it? So you can go to our website, senseofspace.io, and is already there. The free version, the alpha version, you can download right away. You can download sample data also from 4D views that keeps it free to use. So you can load the holograms and you can have a grasp already how it works. There's some tutorials there made by myself that you can see how you can load the holograms, cut, and then put inside Unity. So this is free to use. You can just do it. And we are looking for projects to support also. If you have a project that you think a hologram, this kind of volumetric video will be super cool to use, just come talk to us. We are very close to release our commercial version with a whole bunch of integrations and like streaming on the web, way more stuff. That will be, of course, paid, but it's going to be quite accessible compared to the other tools in the market. And we do have special plans for research and artists. So if you can't pay the full fee, that is more like towards commercial companies, just tell us. And if you have a research-based project or an art project, we are happy to drop the price or see how we can work together. Like, for example, one thing that we are working with a research group is developing a feature that we don't have, and then we can do it for free. Even you can use our tool for free, but we're going to develop the feature for you and then release on our commercial version later. So we are very flexible. We can find ways to work together. So go forward. I have 1 minute. So 1 minute, and now, like, I don't know, some Q&A I think will be nice. I have a lot of stuff. We have two years now doing this. So there's a lot of challenges that I can talk about on the volumetric video side, on on the startup side also, like fundraising on the VC side or startup side is completely different than fundraising on the research side. And yeah, so I think I'm exactly at the time, 20 minutes. So yeah, happy to help and answer any kind of questions that you guys have. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sticking to the schedule. Yeah, I think let's do like 5 minutes of questions and then we'll continue at the bar. Fascinating presentation for sure. Anyone who wants to go first?
I will take a selfie meanwhile.
I'm not really sure how to pass this microphone properly, but it's on the ground here, or you can just speak. All right.
That's fine.
Victor, I can go first then. If you're raising, I'm assuming you already have raised some money for commercialization, and I wonder which are the first use cases that you see that investors want to know how you can make money off of.
Yeah, I think it kind of depends on the investors. So we raise the money on pre-seed, right? So like before you even have anything. And then those, they understand, we are like on an exploration phase. But then lately we have been talking a little bit with some bigger VCs that are more like, like bigger rounds, like 1 million, 1.5 million seed round. Then those, they are not that open for exploration. Like they would like to see and know exactly what kind of use cases, would give a return. And what we see, they are way more interested, like many of the VCs, they are interested on the training side. So on the enterprise uses for VR and AR, not much on the, like we don't speak much with the gaming VCs, but the ones that are not into gaming, they want to know about training, mostly. Training and enterprise use, B2B, way more than B2C. So they believe that on the B2B side, on the training enterprise use, is going to be like the big money than the B2C side of things.
Maybe someone else has questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Just to clarify, Sense of Space is a separate software. It's not a plugin to Unity or Unreal. Did I understand correctly?
Yes, it's a desktop software, completely disconnected from Unreal. We have a plugin that you can export data from our software and play in Unreal and Unity, but it's a completely different software. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Okay, Kasper, did you manage to restart or anything? All right, no. Can see you moving your head. Oh.
Yeah.
So my question was, I understand you're exploring for possibilities for technology where you can benefit from that. And the question is, where did you get the idea, or how, or why? What did you start?
I could not hear you very well, but the question was how we got the idea to do this, right?
Yeah, how did you start on the path of volumetric video?
Yeah, that's
your web.
Very good question. So we started like in Finland when there was the group that I work right now that is now part of Tallinn University. We were trying to find ways of bringing people to VR and AR without being an avatar, right? So we were exploring photogrammetry, 3D scanning the person, and then volumetric video was something that was getting born. And then there was the first volumetric video in Europe, which was in Fraunhofer in Germany. And we got like a connection with them for some reason that I don't remember. And then they invited us to go there and check. So we went there and we saw this thing happening. And then that like really got our interest. Like, okay, this is a really cool technology, so we want to do something about it. So we started doing a lot of these captures and trying Unity, Unreal, and then very soon, like I'm a designer originally, like and working with video editing and things like that. And then very soon, it was really hard for me, to even edit the data. So, and Unity and Unreal, even talking to the guys there, they were not, that open to help because it's not exactly a game technology. So then that's when I started to do my own tools. So I did like this very first, like really simple editing tool inside Unity. And then it started to grow and grow. And then, we decided to, this is cool. Let's get this tool that we did for ourselves and try to do a product out of it that other creators can use. So that was kind of, it was kind of more like experimenting, and then it came a bit like organically the idea of doing a volumetric video tool for content creators. We did for ourselves, basically, and then we opened for everybody to also do.
Nice. Thank you so much, Victor. Again, continuations at the bar. Thank you. It was fascinating. And now let's do Dr. Murphy, take 2.
Okay, can you hear me this time?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Okay. This is progress. So can we get the slides maybe?